We are live. Let's get ready to podcast.
Fire it up.
Welcome back to another live and amplified Indie Fusion podcast. I'm your host, Tom Quiet, and we're back at it again with another amazing podcast. Today, we have a very special guest joining us. We have Jet Jurgensmeyer. How's it going?
It's going great. Thank you for having me, Tom.
Thanks for coming on. It's been a bit, probably coming close to 2 years since we had you on last. So
I was thinking. It's been a while.
Excited to have you back on and sit down and chat and catch up a little bit. So how's everything? You're based out of Nashville full-time, correct?
Yes, sir. I'm actually one of the rare born and raised Nashvillians. I was born downtown Nashville, and kind of sounds less cool since it's Nashville, but I grew up on the west side of town.
Okay.
So I'm one of the few Nashvillians, and now I'm here. This is home base. I mean, this is pretty much where I'm at most of my time. If I'm not here for school or work, I'm on the road with the band, or I'm in Missouri on the family farm.
Fair. You know, it's funny because you called yourself a unicorn, and I don't think people really understand how rare it is to meet somebody that is from Nashville, stayed in Nashville, all those things. So
it's weird going around town, even a school like Belmont where I go to school. I know maybe 3 other kids that are from here. My roommate is one of them, and maybe 2 others.
Wow.
So there's not many that really grew up here. So every time we see each other, it's like the Spider-Man meme of you pointing at each other. That's how we feel. We're like, oh, you grew up there. You grew up. Whoa, we grew up like 2 minutes from each other, but it's a small town, so it doesn't sound that neat.
Yeah, fair enough. Because you're like maybe the 4th musician I've had on that is from Nashville, raised Nashville, stayed in Nashville. And it's just like people need to understand how rare it is, because
it really is. Everybody's moving here. I remember back in 23, there was a billboard if you were driving in from the west side of town into downtown that said, stop moving here, we're full. Because there was such an influx of people coming here. Everybody was like, pump the brakes on it for a minute. Give us a break to catch up.
Fair. And I mean, the city's trying to catch up. We'll put it that way.
Trying is a good word for it. Yes.
Every time I come there, it's like, I don't even know what the heck is going on. Like it's crazy.
There's trains everywhere. I feel like I drive these roads every day. And just this morning I was driving, I was like, oh, we're patching this road up because now this entire thing has been stripped and they're putting new blacktop on it. I'm like, 24 hours went by and this is all getting changed. This building popped up. Yeah. I don't know what happened to my hometown.
Fair. Very fair. And you said you grew up on the west side of Nashville, right?
Yes, sir.
Obviously, like, I mean, you've said it a couple times. Nashville it's a big city, but a small town, which is.
Yeah. It's the best way to put it.
Yeah. It's an interesting concept because usually it's like a small town, but it acts like a big city, or, but whatever. Is there a difference in like the music scenes depending on where you're in Nashville, or does everybody just kind of congregate to Broadway?
No, I think Nashville is kind of like the perfect melting pot of a town where we're in the middle of kind of everything. We've got Atlanta, we've got Memphis, you can get bluegrass from Kentucky. Like we kind of have a little bit of everything. Soul, pop, hip hop, and you've got like that Lainey Wilson sound coming out of Louisiana now.
Yep.
So we've got a little bit of everything, and I really appreciate that, especially as a musician. And even if I weren't doing music for a living, being a music fan, I mean, you can go to shows every night and never see the same band twice for an entire year. I mean, that's the beauty of this town. Your waitress is probably one of the best singers you've ever listened to, and she's waiting tables so that she can pursue music on the side. Yeah. Like it's a fascinating town, and I don't think there's necessarily a specific side of town where you'll find that, but it's also centralized. I mean, yes, the city has grown, but what counts as being within Nashville is such a large area. The 615 area code is just so big that you can go everywhere, and just 2 lights that way, 2 blocks that way, you'll find a different style of music just around the corner.
Fair enough. And I asked that question because every time I come to Nashville, I try and spend time in a different part of town. Like last time I was out there, I hung out in East Nashville the entire time, which was cool. It had a lot of like rock, it had a little bit more rock influence. And then I went over to like the south side of town and it was like one way, you know. And so I was just kind of curious if that was just the places I was hanging out at or if it was, if that's kind of how you saw the town kind of mapping out a little bit.
That is a good point. There's definitely certain areas that I guess have influenced in other ways. I mean, if you go towards like Berry Hill, that's where every country artist records because it's where all the studios are,
Yeah.
unless you're recording in downtown.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I record in Berry Hill all the time, and there's a ton of country artists that record there. But at the same time, at one of my favorite studios in Berry Hill, Shawn Mendes has recorded there.
Mhm.
So it's kind of hard for me to pinpoint a specific area, especially like my band, they all live basically in a circle. If you're looking at it on a map, everybody's on a different part of town at a
Right.
different point.
That's cool. Yeah, that's fair enough. You know, in like a city like that, obviously you're gonna have like little pockets, but it all just kind of depends on what you're looking for, I guess. So
Exactly. You can find it everywhere, and you can
yeah,
find whatever you're looking for in every part of town.
yeah. So growing up in Nashville, obviously music's kind of always been there, but like who were you listening to like early on? Obviously, you had a lot going on as a younger kid because you had the acting thing, and then you also had
Yeah.
like music. But where does kind of music come into play? Who were you listening to? All that stuff.
Honestly, the shorter list is probably who I wasn't listening to, which really wasn't anybody. I listened to everything. Uh, Being from Nashville, it's the home of country music. I'm sure Dallas or Austin has something to say about that, but this is the home of country music. And so I grew up listening to George Strait, George Jones, Patsy Cline, Loretta Lynn, like all the classics, Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash. Those are like the classics of like Randy Travis is one of my favorite country artists ever. Brooks and Dunn. And then going to California, we started going out to LA when I was 5.
Hmm.
So a lot of my inspirations from like as an early artist were coming from Shawn Mendes, Ed Sheeran, Charlie Puth, and those kinds of artists. So really, it was everybody. I think just 2 years ago, my Spotify recap, one of my most streamed songs, if not my most streamed song, was "That's Life" by Frank Sinatra.
Yep.
So I mean, and there's a Frank Sinatra restaurant here in Nashville. We have everything. It's the greatest place ever. I love Nashville so much. Um, I really listened to everything, and I think that's what shaped me and what continues to shape me as an artist, as a songwriter, as an entertainer. You know, I learn from watching people on stage. I learn from listening to what gets the best reactions
Yeah.
out of an audience and what seems to draw people in and make people want to share this because this song made me feel this certain way. And I know this person was going through this same thing like me. So I want to share it with them. Learning that and learning what works for everybody to kind of hone who you are is very, very important, constantly changing.
Oh yeah, 100%. And to call back on something you brought up, Austin isn't going to fight you on the moniker of the home of country music. They're the live music capital of the world. That's
There we
that's what
go. Okay.
that's what they'll fight you on. So
Okay. You know what? I'll take it. I will say you can go anywhere in Nashville at any time of day and see live music, but I'll
yeah,
let Austin debate us on that a different day.
fair. It's like Austin, you do your thing. Nashville's going to do its
We'll do
thing.
ours.
Yeah.
We'll do ours. We're not trying to compete with Texas barbecue or anything like that. We've got good barbecue here, but I mean, Texas, Kansas City, the Carolinas, they're unmatched.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I will say though, the Nashville hot chicken. That now is that something that you grew up with, or is that like a more recent fad over the
All
last
right.
like 10
I
years or so?
know there's going to be some people that are absolutely blown away by this. We did not invent hot chicken.
Okay.
I stand by this. This popped up when I was about 10 or 12 years old. Somebody randomly stuck Nashville before a hot chicken sandwich, and everybody thought that it was the coolest thing ever. I know that like we got Prince's and we have Hattie B's, and now everybody and their mother has a hot chicken sandwich or
Yeah.
hot chicken whatever. I don't think that we invented. I didn't grow up eating hot chicken.
Okay.
It's just something like, yeah, we had hot sauce, we got spicy foods, but I don't think that we invented it. Now, don't
Okay.
get me wrong. You can come here and get some phenomenal hot chicken, and I'm glad that we kind of coined that as our own now, but I don't I don't personally think that it's something that we like invented and has been around since Nashville became a city.
Fair. Now, out of everything we talk about for over the next 20, 30 minutes, everybody's going to go to that and say, Jet, oh, he said that Nashville didn't invent hot chicken. Oh my God. It's going
Out
to
of
be,
everything I say, that's going to get the most clicks, and it's either going to make or break my career right there based off that one statement that we didn't invent hot chicken.
I think your career is fine. I wouldn't worry about it.
Hey,
So,
we'll see.
oh, so grew up in Nashville, was there ever a point where you thought about moving out of Nashville to kind of break away and do your own thing? Or was it once you kind of really started pursuing music, it was like, no, Nat, this is where I need to be. This is where I'm going to be.
I'm really fortunate that my whole childhood, even before the age of 5, I spent growing up between Nashville and Missouri. The middle of nowhere, Missouri, we've got a cattle ranch there, my family does. And so if I wasn't in one, I was in the other.
Hmm.
And so I never really had to think about what it would be like living somewhere else because I was always exposed to that. And I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah.
And then by the time I was 5, I was living and working in California.
Yeah.
So big differences
Yeah.
between middle of nowhere Midwest, big city like Los Angeles, and growing city like Nashville. So I really had all the things. Like where we live in Missouri has one stoplight, 3,000 people, like tiny town.
Yeah.
So I really had a taste of everything. I will always be a proud Tennessean. It's really hard for me to see a future where at the very least I don't have some sort of living arrangement in Tennessee.
Yeah.
I will also always have a connection to Missouri because it's where I'm an only child, so that's where all my family
Yeah.
is. And so it's kind of hard for me to not see myself there as well. And then California is so near and dear to me because of my childhood, my
Yeah.
works, my best friends live in California. So it's kind of hard to imagine not living in multiple places or not being able to go and see multiple places and
Mm.
consider them home.
Yeah.
But I'll always be a proud Tennessean, and I don't see myself having a different license from a different state anytime
Fair.
soon.
Fair. Because I ask because I grew up in Chicago. And once I got to that point, the first thing I wanted to do was get out. Yes, we'd went on vacation different places, but I'd never really lived anywhere else. And it was just like, okay, I don't want to sit here, probably get stuck working in the steel mill or something, because where I lived, that was kind of like the big industry was the steel mill. And it was like, I don't want to get stuck doing that. So I'm out. And I
Mhm.
knew a lot of kids in my age group that were kind of the same mindset, like, hey, I'm gone. Like, I'll see you guys later, that whole thing. And so it's always kind of interesting to talk to uh, kids or people in general that just kind of stayed in the same place and just kind of see it was like, was that just something that we had in South Chicago, or is that like a common thread
It
across?
definitely hits people differently when you're exposed to like a different environment that this is what I've been looking for. My
Mhm.
girlfriend's from Chicago and
Yeah.
one of my roommates is from Chicago, and they came down here to Tennessee to go to school, and now they love the South
Yeah.
and they can't imagine living anywhere else.
Yep.
So I don't know, maybe it's our Southern hospitality. I'd like to think that maybe that's it. I don't know. Maybe it's just pretty cool down here. Who knows?
Yeah.
But it definitely hits everybody differently. And don't get me wrong, when I'm able to travel and see our country, the world, I'm still fascinated, and I'm always struck with the what would it be like to live here.
Mhm.
But maybe it's my ego. Maybe I'm a little too proud to be one of the rare ones that stayed. So maybe
Yeah.
that's why I want to do it.
Well, and I think because you've had so many experiences in different places where it's like, okay, you grew up in Nashville, you've been there. You have ties to Missouri, you have ties to California. You kind of were able to quantify the idea that, okay, no matter where I'm at, it's kind of the same. I've had multiple different experiences. Plus, it also helps that you travel a lot. So it's just kind of like having that one singular home base, it like actually is attractive.
And you kind of said it right there with the travel a lot. This summer, I think I spent more nights in hotel rooms than I did
Yeah.
my own bed. And there's something nice about like when you see me in person, I'm either in jeans and boots and probably some sort of a dark colored t-shirt,
Yep.
or I'm in gym shorts and a
Yep.
t-shirt.
Yep.
There's something nice about when you travel basically for a living, like I did this summer with my band, to just know where home base is.
Mhm.
This is home. There is something nice about that, and I think that also probably plays into the psychological part of me not wanting to have to think about moving and think about what state would I go to, what city's the best one, what part of that town then is the best one. At least in Tennessee and in Nashville, I know all of those answers.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. It's funny you said blue jeans and a dark t-shirt. It's like, yep, that's pretty much me. Until about 4 years ago, my mom threatened me. She was like, "You need to start wearing like different colored t-shirts because everybody thinks you're depressed all the time." And I'm like, "Okay, fine." And so then I just went and bought gray t-shirts, and so it's like I've still got that shade of black in there, but
You'll notice when I'm on stage, there's a lot of pictures of me in like black t-shirts,
mhm.
and I had to start thinking about the fact that if you don't know like who I am when I'm on stage, like
Yeah,
well, that's Jet up there on stage. I just look like I'm one of the other band members, and because everybody else is probably wearing a black t-shirt
yeah,
and jeans and boots. So I have to wear like a light colored t-shirt, but can't really wear gray because you're probably going to sweat on stage and then you're going to look all gross in the pictures later and on stage. So you got to like take all these things into account. There's no right answer for what to
right,
wear.
right. Fair enough. It and actually that makes a lot of sense. Like because the black, yeah, if you got light right on you, the sweat will kind of show up, but for the most part, it's gonna just disappear with you. So yep. So you'd mentioned you spent most of the summer out on the road. Was that in support of Red, or was it just kind of coinciding with each other?
They were kind of coinciding. We were, Red came out, I think it was June 6th,
Hmm.
on digital platforms. So there was, that's kind of the start of the summer,
Yeah,
June. So there was that aspect, and then there was also we knew that like this was the year to really hit it hard over the summer, which just kind of lined up with what was happening last year. It just made sense that this year we were going to try to book as many show dates as possible. We played everywhere from the middle of nowhere, Idaho, hour and a half outside of Boise, to Columbia, South Carolina. Like we were everywhere,
yeah.
and sometimes multiple times to the same cities. So they were kind of coinciding with one another. Everywhere we went, we supported Red, tried to do interviews or radio shows when we could, and then it was just playing as many shows as possible.
Fair, fair, fair. And so, where are you kind of at now with creatively? Are you getting ready to release the next single? Are you working towards an album? Where are you kind of at?
So I'm working towards an EP right now.
Mm,
We just, I think it was last week, recorded vocals on four more songs.
nice.
So they're right around the corner. I got to get in the studio and mix those with Dan, who I'm producing with, and who does all the mixing. But I wanted to do something a little different. I've never done an EP. This EP, so it'll be smaller. It'll be a smaller project.
Yeah.
It'll be much more condensed, but I think it'll really give people a taste of what's to come for when I do decide to do a full project next. This EP will have my first ever duet on it, which is super cool, super special. Super proud of this song. And there will most likely be two versions of that song, of me singing a version and a version singing with my co-writer, Ava. So I'm working on that EP right now, and we do have some of them ready. There will probably be another single release before the EP drops.
Okay.
That kind of, I think, smart radio marketing, because right now we're pushing Red on the radio.
Yep.
I just found out today that Red is number 2 on the CDX music chart, which is super
Nice.
cool.
Sweet.
That was super neat. I've never had that before, so that was super cool. So we'll try to follow it up with another one that we hope can kind of have that same kind of push, same impact that Red has had, and then we'll put the EP out, which I can't wait for everyone to hear, because these songs have been written, and I just want them to be able to be out there and get the anxiety
Yeah.
over with.
So for this EP, how long has that one kind of been in the works? Did you know when Red was going out that the EP was coming, or did it kind of come after Red?
I knew there was going to be an EP following Red.
Okay.
I knew it because I didn't I didn't have what seemed to be enough songs that I could work on a full project, because I'm only going to put out songs that I feel like I can tell the best. Otherwise, I'll demo them, pitch them to other artists, or they will get thrown away and never heard. So at the point of when like we put out Red, I just wasn't happy with everything. And then it was, well, I'm happy with all these. Why should I gatekeep these for another year before I'm ready to put out a 12, 15 song album? Why not just put all of these out in an
Yeah.
EP? And I've never done an EP, so I can kind of break away from how I've named my albums of phase one and phase two, I can break away from that with an EP. So I think it's kind of a different phase of the story without being a dedicated phase.
Yeah, fair enough. I was going to ask about that because I forgot about the last time we talked. We talked about the phase one, phase two thing.
Hmm.
So that's really cool that you're going to kind of not break away from that, but kind of try and develop something different.
That's what I'd like to do because your life does come in phases and waves of what God throws at you.
Yep.
So it makes sense when I'm doing these albums and everybody is hearing that point in that phase in my life. We've had phase one discover, we've had the ride phase two. Um, I'm interested to see what people think about this next little bookmark.
Nice. I dig it. That's cool. So with the EP coming, and obviously you'd mentioned that you're in school, going to school and doing that whole thing. Are you kind of taking shows off for the semester, or are you still wheeling those in there as well?
We're still wheeling and dealing as much as we can. I've been gone most weekends since
Hmm.
school has come back. There's been a couple that I've been around, a couple that I've been gone for like personal things. But I'm gone a good bit while still obviously balancing school. Not in like a bad way. I'm just doing it.
Yeah.
So we still are doing that because the world doesn't stop spinning just for you.
Yep.
The world happens around you, so you got to move with it and adapt with it, go with the punches. But naturally, not even because of me, but over the summer, everybody's throwing a festival everywhere. You can always go and play middle of the week.
Yep.
That's a lot harder to find from August through the spring.
Hmm.
So there's still things more so weekend based now.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough. So, and probably a little bit closer to home where you're not taking a trip out to like Seattle or something on the weekends.
I think it was basically a week long trip to go up to Idaho and back to play a show. I think we had a show in Kansas City, and then we had to go all the way up to Idaho, play in Idaho, and drive all the way back. And it,
Whew.
it ended up being about a full week
That's that's a trek right there.
in the van with the band and every instrument known to man.
Yep.
That
It's
run.
no wonder it took you a whole week or practically a whole week to get there and back because
Yes,
that's a trek and a half. But
absolutely. And my dad did all the driving, so God bless his soul.
right. Ooh, that's rough. So where in Missouri is roughly is are you is your family from or based out of? I guess.
So it's really central of the state. It's
Okay.
about 45 minutes west of the capital.
Okay.
So it's literally the middle of nowhere. If you blink, you will miss it.
Fair.
But it's kind of my own little paradise because nobody knows where it is,
Hmm.
and all of my family is there for the most part. I mean, 80% of my family's there. So I can see my grandparents, most of my cousins, and ride my horse all within about a 15-minute drive, which is great.
Fair. I'm more familiar with southern Missouri.
Okay.
When I went to school, we used to go out to like Joplin and back, and yeah,
I know Joplin very well. The Joplin stockyard I have frequented plenty of times to sell and buy cattle.
yeah.
And the guy
Actually,
that owns the stockyard used to host a rodeo that I used to go to as well.
nice. That's sick. That's it. So Missouri's cool. I like it. I don't know if I could ever live there. I don't know, but
It's an acquired taste. I think that you could say that for a lot of the Midwest, whether that be farmland, Illinois, Indiana, Nebraska, Missouri, Arkansas, Kansas.
yeah,
There's different flavors of the Midwest, and Missouri's got a little bit of everything. We've got some mountains and some hills and some open plains. It kind of
mm,
depends where you're at, but it's definitely a thing that you got to get used to.
oh yeah,
If you're not used to anything like it, it's definitely a shock, culture
yeah,
shock.
100%. So, um, are you still doing any acting, or is that kind of back burner right now with
So I still do auditions. I still throw my name out there and my hat in the ring for things. But I think God throws things at you in waves. So
yeah,
right now I've had to really put all of my eggs in the music basket.
yeah,
It wasn't like a conscious decision of being like, okay, we're not doing this anymore. We're not doing
yeah,
this. We're doing this. It just okay, this seems to be happening right now. It makes sense for me to kind of hop on that train and see where it takes.
fair. So Tim's not going to bring you back in for shifting gears.
We'll see. Who knows? That would be maybe a fun maybe a fun little
Oh,
cameo.
right.
I know Chad, who kind of ran the Last Man Still Standing Facebook page that
Hmm.
got Last Man Standing picked up on Fox.
Hmm.
Uh, I know that he would like to see that happen. So I saw him a few weeks ago at a little thing I did in Indiana, and he was like, "I think it'd be pretty cool for them to like bring you on Shifting Gears for like an episode,
Right.
and like you guys don't know each other, but it's like one of those,
Yeah. Well, because
bonding things
I mean, they did that on Last Man Standing a couple different times with
all the
like some of
time." Yeah.
the Home Improvement cast, and then so I work for an ABC affiliate, so we're getting all that promo material for Shifting Gears right now, and they're playing up like the mom from Home Improvement and the mom from
Yep.
Last Man Standing are both going to be on like the premiere episode or whatever, and I'm like, okay, like I guess
Yep.
I got to watch now. So
It would be pretty neat to see, and honestly, I wouldn't put it past the crew on Shifting Gears.
yeah.
A lot of those people are LMS guys,
Hmm.
and so I mean, there's definitely the possibility. I'll
Yeah.
never say never to something, so
Right.
there's a chance, but
Fair
no
enough.
problem.
I had to ask, it's because that was the one thing that caught me off guard when we did our first interview at CRS a couple years ago. It was like, oh, I knew you looked familiar somewhere. So,
Yeah, maybe they'll have my character be a musician, and I'll come play a song on the show.
right, that'd be cool. So, so kind of looking forward, um, you got the EP getting ready to come out, and school. I'm sure school is probably. What are you, a sophomore now or a fresh
I'm a junior.
junior? Okay.
Junior, yeah, I'll be 21 in a month, which is weird to think about.
But what are you studying doing the music business or what are you studying?
I'm a legal studies major with a
Okay.
minor in business.
Actually, that actually makes a lot of sense.
That's what I tried to say. It makes sense. I didn't want to be one of those artists that in 20 years has the documentary that says I got screwed out of my first record deal because I didn't know this.
Yeah,
I don't want that to happen.
fair enough. Fair enough. So kind of moving forward, do you have any idea when the next single will come out or is that still TBD?
It's still TBD. I think based on the traction that Red still has, we're not trying to step on those toes.
Yeah.
It is ready. The next single is ready.
Yeah.
And the more that it sits there, the more I'm going to be like, oh, everybody's going to hate it. The times are going to have changed and everyone's going to be done with country music. I don't know. So I know I'm going to be more anxious the more. So trust me, as soon as it's logical for it to be released, it will be released.
Uh,
But as of right now, we don't have a specific day.
Fair. I don't think country music's going anywhere. It's old. I've been I'm 38, so just kind of country music's kind of always been there.
It's always been around. It always will be. It might change a little bit here and there, but
Yeah.
it'll always still be there.
Yeah. It may not be pop music, but it'll be there. So,
It'll be there.
but yeah. So for people to check out Red, the new single and shows, all that fun stuff as it comes out, where's the best place to find you?
So quite literally everything from my Instagram to my website to my TikTok is all under the same thing. It's just Jet Jurgensmeyer. Jet with one T like a plane. Just a fun way to remember it. And then a J for Jurgensmeyer. Uh, you can see my tour dates on my website, and I'm always posting on social media
Nice.
about where I'll be, what our plans are looking like. Usually, if there's a Bucky's stop along the way, I will be posting at Bucky's. That's where you
Fair.
can kind of track our route. You can
Fair.
kind of keep up to date with that. But those are the best ways to stay in touch and keep up to date.
Fair. The Bucky's thing is very funny to me because so I live in Waco and
Okay.
Bucky's first time I went to Bucky's, I was like, oh, cool, great. It's a thing. Like, it's a thing. It's cool. It's new. It's interesting. And now that I've been here 6 years, it's just kind of like I'm good. Like, meh.
It's yep. That's how I feel jumping back to being the Nashville guy. That's how I feel about like going to Broadway.
Yeah,
Like I don't go to Broadway at this point in my life unless I'm getting paid to go like work.
yeah,
Because what's the fun?
yeah.
One, I'm 20, so I can't be anywhere past a certain amount of time.
Right.
Secondly, I'm not a partier. Like I don't like parties. I don't go out. I don't drink. Like I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
I'm one of the few musicians that isn't that guy.
Yeah.
So I don't see I don't see the fun in going and dealing with what would feel like a spring break crowd on like a Tuesday night because that's just how popular Nashville is.
Oh yeah. Broadway is crazy. Like, I don't go to Broadway either. Like, I went there once, one of the first times I went to Nashville.
You have to experience it.
Yeah, because I wanted to go to BB King's. I was like,
Oh,
yes,
legendary place. I
yeah.
love that place.
I was like, I want to go there. That's where we're gonna go. And I went to go park somewhere, and it was like $20 for an hour. And I'm like, eh, eh,
Yeah.
I think I'm
It,
good. So
it's ridiculous. It's like $60 to park for a Titans game, not next to the stadium,
yeah,
and we're 0 and 4. So
yep,
what are we doing with these prices, guys?
right.
Come on.
I do think it's very funny though. When I went out there for CMA Fest, what was it, the Music City Center, and it was like $15 for the day, and I'm like, why?
Dude,
I love it. This is amazing. Like, you can't get this in Chicago. Like,
if you can find that anywhere, lock it down. You can deal with the extra steps by
yeah,
walking because that is a steal.
yeah, oh yeah, 100%. So I was just like, all right, I'm parking here. I don't care. So
Luck finding that on the regular in Nashville.
yeah, right. I'm right there with you. So, but really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you
Um,
for having me. I can't wait to do it again. We'll talk
yeah,
about this EP the next time.
yeah, for sure. Well, we're trying to figure out CRS, so I don't know if you'll be there or whatnot,
I
but
will be there.
we're figuring that one out. But once again, we'll see you all later, and yeah, have a good one.
See you soon.